All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence Jr. taking shots at Gervonta Davis and also updating people on his status and what's going on him with his trainer and when he will fight next. Let's do that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Yesterday, press conference took place for the fight coming up between Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin that will be taking place in Las Vegas, June 15th. Spectacular card, a lot of really good fights on that card. The two main fights on that card are Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin, and David Benavidez's debut at 175 pounds against a former WBC champion, Alexander Wojcik, and who was a really, really good fighter. So the first press conference, well, the first interview that I've seen with Errol Spence, who was the promoter of Frank Martin, took place yesterday. And we found out some interesting information. And not unpredictably, Errol Spence makes a prediction for the fight, but his logic behind the fight was really interesting to me. And also, Leonard Ellerbe from Mayweather Promotions responded to him about it. Before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your support. It makes a huge difference to the channel. Okay, so first and foremost, Errol Spence Jr. says, surprise, surprise, that Gervonta Davis is going to beat Frank Martin. And he gives a reason. He says, you can't do this. Tank can't do this against Frank Martin. Throw away a bunch of rounds and think he's going to come back and get the knockout in the second half of the fight. It's not going to happen. That is why Frank Martin is going to beat Gervonta Davis. Now, I have to tell you that, first of all, I've never known that to be true. But I'll get to that. The second part of it is that I'm putting first is that was a good job of selling it from Errol. He sounded like he believed it. It came out his mouth like he had confidence in it. He was speaking with his chest. Sounds sensible. That is something that a lot of people say about Gervonta, that he's losing rounds, and he comes back and then he wins. That is a pattern with Gervonta. So that fits what, a lot of people say and observations that people claim to make about Gervonta. The only problem is that it's not true. If you go back and actually look at the fights with Gervonta Davis, you will find that, first of all, Gervonta Davis isn't winning fights in the second half of the fight a lot of times. He's winning them in the first half of the fight. But when people are saying that, or close to the first half of the fight, people are saying he's behind on the cards. If you actually go look at the cards, you'll see he wasn't behind on the cards. Like, let's take, for example, Leo Santa Cruz is one person that people said that Gervonta Davis was behind on the cards with. Go look at the cards. It's on BoxRec. He wasn't behind on those cards. I think it was like a 6-round knockout. He actually went up on the cards the round before knocking him out. Go to the next one, which is Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, I believe, got knocked out in the 11th round. Gervonta Davis was up by several rounds when he knocked out Mario Barrios. The confusion on that was caused by the fact that Floyd Mayweather Jr. got up and told Gervonta, you're losing. The TV, I'm just talking about the TV. The TV, Steve Farhood had him down. Steve Farhood had him down rounds, but not the judges. And if you go back and look at that fight and score it yourself, you will see, man, there was some Mario Barrios had his moments for sure, but no. Gervonta Davis was winning that fight. If that fight had gone to the scorecards, Gervonta Davis was going to win that fight. But it didn't go to the scorecards, right? So then you have another one, Rolly Romero, which I think was knocked out in the 6th or the 7th round. He was also up on the cards with Rolly Romero. Now, Leonard Ellerbe, who's on Tank's promotional team, responded to Errol and was like, look, man, that's all fine and dandy. But if you think that's true, you're out your mind, right? And again, I have to agree with Leonard Ellerbe on that because I've listened and talked to people on YouTube channel, on live streams and like that so many times. And people have said that so many times. But when you fact check it based on the actual judges' scorecards, it's never been the case that I've seen. The closest to that, the longest he's been down on the cards was against Leo Santa Cruz. I think he was down on the cards for 3 rounds. Maybe after the 4th round, it was a draw after the 4th round. But the 6th, then he won and he was up and then he knocked him out. So, and it's close to that. I may get the rounds, it may have been 8, he knocked him out, something like that. And 7, he drew. But you get my point. The ebb and flow of that fight was that Gervonta was walking him down. And Gervonta Davis started catching him and he went up on the cards and then he was up on the cards, and then he knocked him out. Frank Martin, if he fights that type of fight, is not going to get the call in Vegas against Gervonta anyway. If Gervonta Davis is walking towards him and looking to knock him out, and Frank is moving around and jabbing, it's not going to work for him anyway. But it's just that particular statement that he's saying just does not hold water when you actually look at what the scorecards were for Gervonta Davis. Now, on the other tip, because I didn't want to do another separate video for it, Errol, of course, confirmed that he is not with Derek James anymore, that he's looking for a new trainer, and that he is looking to return in the October or November timeframe. And, right now he's trying out a bunch of trainers to trying to see who he meshes with, but he's working, but he's trying to keep that who he's working with and who he's talking to on the low. Cause he doesn't want everybody, I guess he doesn't want his business all out on the internet and the media, which, it would be as soon as somebody suggested that they were working with him. But, all around, I was happy to see Errol, happy to hear him talk. He seems like fresh. His speech did not sound slow. I was listening to it. It did not sound slow. It did not sound like it did before the fight with, the week before and the week and a half before the fight with Terrence Crawford. So hopefully all that stuff was an anomaly and he comes back with Sebastian Vandoorne. He's looking great because I'm a big Errol Spence Jr. fan, not just as a fighter, but as a person. I think he's a really good dude. I think he's a very honest person. Think he's a very, very honest person. Probably honest to a fault, and definitely is somebody that wants the best fights and all of that, and not to take tune-ups. I mean, that's admirable, but man, take some tune-ups, please. Sometime take a tune-up. If he gets past Sebastian Vandoorne, man, immediately take a tune-up. Just take somebody that you can knock out in like 2.5 rounds, get the money, let everybody be excited, and and go back to fighting, Godzilla. Go back to fighting Godzilla on the next day. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.